DeJonario Lumpkin,
Amazing. And what city do you live in?
Centerville, Ohio.
Very nice. And how long have you been a caregiver?
8 years.
Do any of your children live with you? How many? Ages? Sex?
You mean my children or the person that I take care of?
Do any of your own children live with you?
No, they do not. At this time, the oldest and youngest, they live out of state, and we do not know where Dakota's father is, which is my son.
How many kinship children? And what are their ages and genders?
I only have the one. It's my grandson, and his name is Dakota, and he is 11 years old.
Very nice. And so what is your relationship to him?
I am his grandmother and legal guardian.
And so what is your legal relationship with him?
Oh, my son's, my middle son's son.
Gotcha.
So paternal?
Do you have custody or legal custody or no custody?
Yeah. No, I have legal guardianship, so I get to make all of the decisions and everything. Dakota have been with me October the 23rd. He will be with me 9 years. And so he lives in the home. It's just he and I. We do everything. It's 24/7, except for when he's at school.
And what is the reason that Dakota came into your care?
My son found out about Dakota when he was 15 months old, and Dakota was his mother actually abandoned him in the hospital, and he was in the hospital for about 3 months by himself. We didn't know anything about Dakota, and my son saw the young lady's mother, and she said, "Hey, you have a son." And so that started the process with Children's Services. Prior to that, he was in the foster care, and they were getting ready to adopt him.
Wow. Do you have support from any others, family, friends, neighbors, church?
Our church tried, they support us in everything that we do. They love Dakota and all of the different ministries that I'm associated. He has plenty of aunts and uncles. Uh, they, my two biological children, since one lives in Florida and the other lives in North Carolina, then we don't get to see them but maybe once a year. But they call, at least once a week or what have you. But for the biggest part, it's just Dakota and I.
What are challenges that you're facing with all of this?
Dakota has severe ADHD and fetal alcohol syndrome, which there's a lot of complications and things that have gone with him in medical. And so the ODD and the impulsiveness. And so Dakota, at the biggest point in time, is the respite, trying to get respite care. And everywhere that I turn to try to get the respite, because he's been with me almost 9 years, and in the 9 years, if he spent 10 days away from home, then that would just, that's a good number. But as far as the challenges, he does great in school and he does karate, but he is very, very active. And so by me being 62 and him being 11, 11 now, we are constantly on the go.
So I'm just going to read through here. So we have, challenges and how can these be improved? So, the first category is sort of supports, whether those would be, financial, childcare, school, health, food stamps, mental health, respite, activities.
Well, it would be nice to be able to get food assistance. Since I just stopped working March the 1st, prior to that, because of my income, we were not eligible for Title 20. The food stamps, when I did go ahead and do the early retirement with my income and what they said for Dakotas, I was only eligible for $2 in food stamps, even with where we live. And the lady asked me if I would like to decline or what would I like to do. She said, "Well, just think about in January, when you guys get an increase, you won't be eligible." But she told me I would have to report it. So childcare has been challenging. Didn't qualify for Title 20, so $540 a month. I pay for childcare out of pocket. Last year, it was definitely challenging that the people who helped me fill out my taxes said this is not humanly possible. You only made $13,000 last year, but you spent $6,700 in child care. They said this doesn't make sense. And so that's challenging, as well as, like I said, getting respite care, because everywhere I try to turn to try to get respite care, they're like, "We're sorry, we can't help you." And it is. And I have to have I have two torn tendons that need to be repaired, but since I don't have respite care, I can't get my shoulder repaired because the A1C is high, but that's because I'm constantly worried about the bills as well as um, where Dakota's going to be able to go. And so it's been a little bit over a year with my shoulder. So
What about housing?
where we live at, we live in HUD housing, so uh, that has come down in rent due to my paying out of pocket for the child care. So it has come down some.
You mentioned a little bit, but just to explore further your own personal needs, your health, your mental health.
Mental health, I thought that I was doing okay, but they keep saying, you are getting so stressed out that that's what's keeping my A1C. My A1C had gotten to 14.8, which they said that meant it's over 600 or 600. But that's due to a lot of times, just trying to keep up with Dakota and everything and keeping him busy and running him here and there and just not having this, even though I have my other children and their support, but they're not here and everybody I know is older, so trying to, are older than me, so trying to keep up with Dakota is definitely a challenge.
Are the parents of Dakota involved?
No, as I stated, his mother abandoned him in the hospital uh, when she delivered him early, that they told her that they were going to have to call Children's Services because of the amount of drugs and alcohol in his system. When they went upstairs, when the social worker went upstairs to call Children's Services, she put her clothes on and left, and nobody seen or heard from her or anything. We do know that she did in 2000 and I think 14 or 15, she did get arrested. But other than that, but she did, when Children's Services went to the jail, she signed away her rights, her parental rights, as well as my son. He didn't sign away his parent rights, but because he was upset that the judge gave me the legal custody, he decided he wasn't going to be in his life anymore, or my life. He tells so. So don't know where he's at or anything.
What are the rewards?
You know, the rewards, and like I tell people, it's a twofold thing. My mom had passed away, and I think that Dakota was brought into my life to give me that sense of taking care of someone. So even though it keeps me on my he keeps me on my toes and everything, but just the blessing, when he comes in or he says, "Grandma, I love you," or "Thank you for the things that you're doing for me," and just trying to teach him to be a respectable young man and the different ministries that we get to participate in. Uh, that even though I know we may not always see things that we would like to see physically here, but that one day I'm hoping that he's either going to be a missionary or a pastor or, I know he's going to do great things. So I think that the judge made an awesome decision, and she saw through everything. So it's good.
What are your hopes for the child and your situation? Reunification with the parents, long-term responsibility?
I would say that at this point in time, because I do check to see if maybe every couple of months to see if the mom's obituary, I know it sounds crazy, but I check to see because Social Security said they don't have to notify you that if his, because she gave up her rights, so I don't have to be notified if, but for Dakota's sake, I want him to know he has siblings. And because Children's Services, that was before Dakota, Children's Services had already taken them away and everything. But he has at least 3 siblings, and we don't know their names. We don't know their whereabouts. We don't even know if they're boys or girls. All Children's Services said was they had 3. My prayer is that Dakota gets reunified with them and that they will be able to have a relationship. I would love for Dakota's mom, I don't know what her challenge is or what she's doing now because I had never even met her, but I would love for her to basically get herself clean, and have a desire to want to be a mother, not just to Dakota, but to her other children as well. And because that's his desire. He wants his mom. When at school, when people ask, "Hey, Dakota, we see that your grandma's always picking it. Where's your mom?" He's like, "I don't know." And it makes him sad. And everything. And then also that my son will come around and, you know, want to have a relationship with Dakota. So that's my prayer.
Well, thank you so much for sharing today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.